Leah Johnson effect. This is the real Leah Johnson effect as the Michigan State coach is with us. Things certainly trending in the right direction for your program. What are the barometers of success for you that you can evaluate? And more importantly, how do you keep them rising?
Yeah, great question, and thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know if it's my effect. It's more the athletes, the community, the institutions. I mean, it's the effect that just Michigan State has. And it attracts great people, and we're continuing to attract great talent. And I think that's the linchpin. You know, what makes you great is the people you do what you do with. So I'm lucky enough to coach a sport, and I get to do it with some great young women who each year are more and more talented.
And the wonderful thing about winning, not only the fans show up, but the recruiting avenues get opened a little bit as well. How have you seen your success over the past couple of years manifest itself on what you're seeing when you're out on the road recruiting?
Yeah, I think our just our brand is stronger right now. I mean, as you saw with the attendance records, breaking 9,000 one match, there's attention that we weren't getting previously. And the conference itself garners so much attention as well. But at an institution like Michigan State, where the fan base is so strong, it has a ripple effect. And I think with recruiting, just getting that call, having one call makes a big difference. And we're getting the first call with some really high-level talent.
Talk about high-level talent. We showed at the beginning of our broadcast here the all Big Ten preseason team, and then the teams that are ranked inside the top 6 in this league. You could argue they could be ranked top 6 inside the nation. As a coach, when you know week in and week out what you're going to face in the Big Ten, how do you make sure that it doesn't overwhelm you, your staff, and most importantly, your players?
Yeah, I think there's a cadence to what we do. You know, it's going to be a grind. There's not a night off. You'll hear that from everyone. But really, it's how we go about our business, and that we build a cadence to our weekly schedule, to the way we train, to the way we prepare. And that way, each match feels routine in a sense. And our job is to continue to raise and elevate the quality of play in our own gym before we take on that opponent. But when you have a healthy cadence and a healthy flow, it's very easy to go in and battle every night. Doesn't mean you're going to play your best, but it means you're going to show up the same.
Cadence is interesting because I think one of the buzzwords is another C word in all of college sports, and it's culture. You kind of touched on that at the beginning and what Michigan State as a whole is as a culture. But for your volleyball program, what culture do you want to define this program and this team? Yeah,
so we have 3 core values. We're going to serve one another. I'm going to do my best to make you great. That is my mission. As a coach, that is their mission as teammates, to serve one another. We're going to grow, making sure we're always reaching toward our next best, chasing our potential, constantly on search of the better. And then we're going to honor where we are and who we were before we arrived, who we're becoming while we're here, and who we hope to be when we leave. And that is all encompassing of every step we take at Michigan State.
Obviously, that's a step looking at both the past, the present, and the future. And now we start to look into the immediate future in the Big Ten, which is a huge change with the addition of the 4 schools. A lot more travel, more great pedigrees in this league. What was your initial reaction? First, when you heard that USC and UCLA were joining, and then when you heard a year later that Washington and Oregon were also going to be part of that expansion.
Yeah, I mean, I think the nice thing is being in the Big Ten prior to that happening, you already know you're in the best conference in the country. And so to some degree, it's just more of the same, right? Like you bring different culture, different tradition, different region, but at the end of the day, it's great volleyball. And it's been great volleyball, and it'll continue to be great volleyball. So my job is to focus on the people in the green and white, make sure I have them prepared for whoever is across the net any night.
You've seen massive rise in popularity in your home gym. We've seen a massive rise in popularity in almost every home gym across the country. What's it been like as a head coach to watch it, not only on your campus, but to watch the sport you love become so much more universally loved by sports fans from coast to coast?
Absolutely. You know, one of the telling things for me is when I'm out recruiting and a parent will come up to me and they'll say, you know, I played basketball at State, or I did, you know, I was on the football team, and now my daughter's playing volleyball, and I love this sport. I had no idea. And it's those stories, those anecdotes of just at the grassroots level, at 6th, 5th, 4th grade, these parents watching their kids, and what were once sitting in front of a TV watching football, they're now pulling up the volleyball match. and it's just changed the game for us. And the energy that we have around that and around these young women being role models is really special.
Let's dive into some of those young women and the style of play that you would like them to have. We've touched on your culture, the way you run your program. What do you want the volleyball to actually look like when Michigan State is playing its best?
Yes. So there's 3 things that we talk about. We want to be disciplined, right, in the way we approach our skill, our position, our effort levels, right? We want to be strategic all the time. We want to be having a game plan, the ability to adapt, to change, to adjust, and to overcome, right? And then you want to be efficient. We want to do what we do at a very high clip and be able to repeat that over and over. So those are the 3 things that this year we hope define us. And we'll be talking about that when we walk in our first meeting on Wednesday to discuss all the logistics of the season and lay out the map, and then we hit the court running with those 3 things in mind.
And I'm sure when you talk about Evie Doezema, you do talk about efficiency because she was one of, if not the most efficient and productive player for you a year ago. How much better can she get, and what does she need to provide for your program to be where you want it to be at the end of the year?
So I think Evie is still steps away from her best, and that is really exciting because she's already emerged as one of the key players for us. Evie can play any position. So you're going to see Evie hit the fast tempo stuff. You're going to see her hit the high ball. She blocks from pin to pin across the middle. And what we need from Evie is dependability and versatility. I mean, she's someone that shows up no matter what position she's asked to play, what role she's asked to play. She gives her same effort, attitude, mentality. She's so reliable. And when you know what it's like, you want to work with reliable people. You want to compete with reliable people. I want reliable around me, and so she brings that every day.
You also have a transfer student athlete with you in Taylor Preston, who spent time at Oklahoma. What do you like about her skill set? How is she going to fit into what you want to do as a team?
So Taylor, I think, is the epitome of a great teammate, first of all. There's inclusivity. She's very ingratiating. People are comfortable with her as a person. Everyone can be in her space and be themselves. That helps culture be great. Second, she's so skilled. Her all-around game is terrific. She can pass the ball well. She's a good defender. She's strong at the net. She scores front row, back row. And so she's someone that you just want on the court because she anchors you with her touch.
What do you focus on between now and the start of the year? We have, only 3 weeks and change before the season opener?
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is for me is our leaders have been focused all summer. And so I get to just kind of pick up where they left off. And quite frankly, my job is just to clear a bigger path for them to continue forward. So that's my focus. How do I stay out of the way and make sure their resources are available, that their access is available, and that I just kind of be the bumpers for them, make sure their ship's going the right direction, provide support when I can. But it's a very special group, and I'm excited to compete alongside this team.
We'll give the viewers a closer visual look and a more in-depth visual look at some of the notable games on your schedule in just a second. But your non-con, I'll start with, it's highlighted by Florida, Loyola Chicago, who is always an underrated national team, UNC, Duke as well. What do you want to get out of your team before you get into Big Ten play?
Yeah, I think this team is going to be a team that goes the distance a lot. Right, I think in past where we'll take a set, I think now we're pushing the envelope. We have the potential to last and compete longer and put ourselves in more 50-50 situations. So in those first games, I wanted to be tested early so that we really have to respond quicker in preseason, gearing up for that first conference match. There is nothing like the Big Ten, and so creating a schedule that has moments of simulation is really important for our mental stamina, as well as honing our skills, being sure we're game ready.
You also have one of the coolest start finishes in your Big Ten schedule because you're at Michigan in late September, and then all the way toward the end of the year, you play one of the preseason favorites in Wisconsin. I know you're not going to worry specifically about those matches until you get there, but when you look at your schedule as a whole, is it more, wow, this is really cool, or is it also a little bit of, I can't believe we have to deal with what we have to deal with every single Friday and Saturday?
No. I mean, if I thought that, I shouldn't be here, right?
Fair.
So I think but I understand the idea. I mean, in my quiet moments, maybe I do say that. But frankly, it's exciting, whatever order it comes, because we will be where we're at in that moment. If we're ready for that opponent, whether it be opening at Michigan or closing at Wisconsin, we will be where we are based on our process, not theirs. And so I'm excited to face whoever it is. And as the Spartans are preparing and ready to take on that challenge, I think it's exciting.
So based on that process, at the end of the year, how will you personally, how will this team evaluate whether 2024 is considered a successful season?
Well, I think this year the team, and every year, postseason is something we're looking for. And I know we're close. They know we're close. And that belief is there. And the work ethic has been in full display all summer long. The intentions, the mindfulness, and the way they approach their training and their preparation. So I know they're dug in. And I know they want it, and they love being pushed, and I enjoy that too. So I'll do the pushing, they'll do the pushing back, and then we'll keep battling together. But ideally, we make postseason. No matter what, you'll see a team that improves all year because that's who we are.
Awesome stuff. Leah Johnson, we appreciate your time. Wish you and Michigan State the best of luck in 2024.
Just a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
I have to deliver on a promise. I told the viewers we would show you a little bit closer look at some of the notable games on the schedule. So we get the jib camera over to the pillar to show you that the Florida game is scheduled for early September. I mentioned that Michigan game early in Big Ten play in Ann Arbor, followed up by a trip to Penn State, one of the toughest places to play, not just in the Big Ten, but in the country. And you take a look at the remainder of some notable games on Michigan State's 2024 schedule. We can talk about them, but players are going to be the ones that actually make the difference. So, without further ado, let's hear from those players as we check in again with Elena and Holly.
Thanks, Rick. Holly and I are back this time, joined by Evie Doezema and Taylor Preston, Michigan State student athletes. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hope you've been having a great time so far at Big Ten Media Days.
Yeah, of course.
We
Thanks
just heard from your
us.
coach a little bit about last season and kind of what you're looking to carry into this season. Evie, being a returner, last season you kind of made some really big strides as a team and put the league on notice. What are you looking to carry into this season from that previous season?
I mean, I think Coach said it really well. We improved so much as a team collectively, and there was a lot of points during our season where we lost by just 2 points. And we talk about that a lot, that just 2 points is the difference, and that this year we need to work to close that gap and to just finish out some of these games, and then we're going to be just that much better.
Taylor, you're joining a program on the rise. What do you bring to this team?
I think one thing, especially just coming from, getting here in January, we've just worked so much on, especially us pins and hitters in general, point management. I think just, thinking before you swing, we play chess and we work on strategies, and, that actually really does apply so much to when we play. So I think shot chart and all that is a huge thing, but also confidence. I think something that we're so proud of is our success as a team. And I strive to, be successful every day. And I just know our goal is postseason, and so success is a huge thing that, as a whole, I hope to bring too.
Evie, we saw you last year play just about everywhere on the court except for that libero jersey and maybe setting. I believe you could do it.
I hope it's in there someday. I hope I get there.
But we saw you on that middle, the left pin, right side. You were just kind of the ultimate utility player last season.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through that experience and how you went into each match kind of ready to play all across the front row?
Yeah, I mean, my freshman year, obviously, I played all around outside. And when Coach Johnson came to me and was like, hi, how would you feel about playing right side or trying out middle? And it was really intimidating at first. And I was like, oh, I've never really done that before. I don't know how confident I'm gonna be there. But she reassured me, and she was like, I know, I've seen you as a player, and I know you can do this. And with just a little extra help in the gym every day at practice, it was such a smooth transition. And then she really kept me on my toes. Sometimes I would go into a game, and maybe 20 minutes before I'd find out I'm playing one or the other that I didn't even know. So, she challenged me, but it really made me grow that much more as a player. And I love my role, being versatile and being able to be that player, whatever my team needs to help in any way. So.
She paid you the ultimate compliment. She said you're very reliable.
Yeah.
What did you learn in terms of confidence that you could play at any moment, any position?
I mean, I'm honored that she says that. That's what I work for. So in my position, reliability is probably the biggest thing she was looking for. She doesn't need me to go out there and be the star player in every single position. No, she wants me to be able to fill that role wherever, whenever, wherever she needs me. So very grateful for that comment.
Taylor, you're new to the program, but you've been training with the team for a couple of months now, so you're really in tune with the Spartan volleyball program.
Yes.
Can you tell us just a little bit about what fans can expect to see when the Spartans take the court this fall?
I think there's a lot that, even just being here in January, we've grown so much. We train day in and day out, and especially in the summer, not having coaches there to coach us. Our captains, Elena Shklyar and Julia Bishop, have taken control. They've helped us so much. They're honestly coaches in itself, especially when Coach Leah isn't there. We've just grown so much, and especially with all of our newcomers, we have so many new faces that I'm sure everyone is super excited to see. But we've just made so much progress. We've worked so hard, and so, there's a lot to show, and I'm excited for everyone to see what we have to offer.
Who are your vocal leaders during the summer when it's just you guys?
Julia Bishop and Elena Shklyar, our captains,
Our captains are phenomenal, and Coach, even during season, pushes them and says, I want this to be a player-led team. And she almost gets on the captains before she gets on the team as a whole, because she wants the captains to be the ones pushing us. She wants us to rely on our captains, and for our captains to rely on us to be able to push our standard and set the standard, as we always talk about, and be that driving force rather than feeling like she has to be the one to step in.
You guys have talked about how close you are to winning those big matches. What are the details you guys are focused on to really push you over the edge?
I think you mentioned it, point management. We focus on that a lot. It's always good to take the big kill if you have it, but if you don't, not going up carelessly and being smart and being strategic.
Yeah, we emphasize a lot red light, green light, yellow situations. You don't always have to kill a ball if it's super off the net. Just like she said, being super smart is easy. You can just tip to score a point, that's all it is. So I think that's something we emphasize a lot in our gym.
Can you give us a little bit more of a glimpse inside your gym and your team, not just as players, but as people? What kind of makes Spartan volleyball players into Spartan volleyball players?
I would say it's a perfect mix of fun and intense. When we walk in the gym, we have music playing all the time. Most of our teammates will start dancing in the middle of breaks between points. We're always laughing and joking around with each other, making pop culture references, but you when our team is there to work. Everyone gets very serious and gets very intense, and we really do push each other so much.
Have you noticed that since joining the program as well?
No, yeah, coming from Oklahoma, I feel like, it's such a player-led team, like Evie was touching on. It's really cool just to see how well, we all work together and we come together we get in hard situations during practice, and even just this few spring games we played, the way we can just bounce back like this, we don't always need coach to come in and tell us what to do. We just, come together, figure it out, and then we get the job done, so.
How close is this group off the court?
Very.
Super close.
And what do you guys like to do when you're not playing volleyball as a group?
I would say we all live with each other, so we all are in apartments with each other. And a lot of the time when we hang out on the weekends, we're going to the pool together, or we're out playing spike ball or pickleball, or people like to hammock.
Yeah.
So we really like being outside and just being active with each other, and just, it's more often you'll find 8 of us together rather than just 2. So it's really unified.
It's definitely one of the best parts of college athletics.
Yeah,
It's not only
exactly.
playing with your friends, but you live with them, you do everything
Yeah.
with them. Those are your best friends.
Yeah.
You get to go in and play the best teams in the country against them every single night. We know this conference is a battle, and now we added 4 more teams for you guys to battle against. Can you tell us just a little bit about maybe some excitement or some thoughts when you found out those 4 teams were joining the conference?
Yeah.
I think I was excited nonetheless. Me just coming from Big 12 to Big 10 was just a huge change in general. I was, transferring, eager to find, more competition, more opportunities, and just to have those 4 more teams come in, opportunity right there. And I'm just so excited to compete against all these teams. And yeah, just for me in general, I'm excited to play in the Big 10. So I don't know if you have more.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I can't wait for more competition. That's what the Big Ten's all about, is just having great competition, and I've heard they're great teams, and I just can't wait to play them and have them come to us and go there and just have that opportunity.
Do you have a favorite venue besides your home gym to compete in?
Personally, I like to go to Chrysler just because of the rivalry. Our fans get so intense, their fans get so intense, just playing them is just so competitive, not because they're a good team, but because of the atmosphere it brings and the fans and how devoted both Michigan and Michigan State fans are to being at those games and cheering on their teams.
Taylor, are there any venues you're super looking forward to playing in, or any matchups you're looking forward to this season?
Obviously, I'm excited to play, the team down the road from us, but that's just obvious. But I mean, I think honestly, in the end, I'm just super excited to play in Breslin. I've just heard so much talk from, my team, everyone, just how exciting it is, how intense it gets, how diehard our fans are. So just to be able to finally experience that in the fall is something I'm definitely excited for.
Okay, both of you. Evie, you have a little bit more experience with this, but Taylor, you've had it for a couple months now. Tell us your favorite thing about playing for Coach Johnson.
I think one thing personally that she's already instilled so much in me is confidence and leadership. I think, with all of our values we hold and all of the things, even just herself, having her as a role model and as our leader, she just builds so much confidence in me. I feel like I've already seen such a change in myself and confidence level since I've gotten here in January, and I think that for sure, just her leadership is just something that is super cool to play for and represent.
Yeah, I think with that and going off of the versatility, she's not afraid to mix it up. She likes to run a lot of different plays, and just if something isn't quite working or if she just doesn't feel like it is the best it can be, she's not afraid to just switch it up and be like, hey, you run this, let's just see how it works out. And will you mess around? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but she's just very open to just running whatever we can and keep working until we find the best thing that's for our team.
All right, and finish it off with, what is the main goal for this season? What do you guys go in every practice with? This is on your mind. What's the goal at the end of the season?
Postseason.
I'm pretty sure we say that every single practice is what's our goal, what we're going to do, and every practice we work hard to make sure that happens. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for your time today, Evie and Taylor. It's been great to chat with you. Can't wait to watch you this season, and enjoy the rest of your time at Big Ten Media Days.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much
Thanks
for
having
us.